Calling this meeting to order. It's 5:32. This is Carlos Ramirez, Subcommittee Chair. At this time, do we have any public comments? Nobody online has public comments?
Yes, I don't have a comment, just a comment. I want to start off by saying, give a shout out to the CAC, especially by way of the CBA that y'all put together, the Community Benefit Agreement. You have created a model not only for the rest of the state, but the nation as well. Your ability to engage in and bring back the type of things that you brought back to your community, I got to give you a shout out. Specifically to Joe Robinson, who was on that particular committee to make sure that the community actually got something out today. You know, oftentimes they say that gentrification is part of the process. In West Tampa, y'all show that that's not true, that y'all can bring together private deals that result in the transformation of people that allows them to stay in the community, especially by way of the business center for people to start their own business. That's what we mean by smart economic development. And I want to give a shout out to the CAC for what y'all did. And I hope the rest of the nation will see that gentrification is not a necessity. It's not a norm if we can change it. So thank you for what you did. And you just don't know how you set the norm, because there's no more money that's coming. You have to finesse public-private deal. Thanks again.
Thank you, Mr. Randolph.
This is Danny Collins. I'm a senior planner with the Planning Commission. I'm also have Jennifer Malone, who's an executive planner with the Planning Commission on the line. And today I will be presenting one of many outreaches for the 2045 Tampa Comprehensive Plan update. So I want to get started with a bit of an overview of the two agencies that are working on the Comprehensive Plan update together. That is the Hillsborough County Planning Commission and also the City of Tampa's City Planning Department. As I said, I'm with the Hillsborough County Planning Commission. Many of you may know us as the Planning Commission. We are an independent consolidated planning agency. We provide long-range and comprehensive planning for all 4 local jurisdictions in Hillsborough County. Those jurisdictions are Temple Terrace, Plant City, and unincorporated Hillsborough County. Our agency is responsible for maintaining and updating the comprehensive plan for the City of Tampa. The Tampa City Council has final jurisdictional decision-making authority over the Tampa Comprehensive Plan. We are working closely with the City of Tampa's Planning Department on this effort. The City Planning Department was reestablished in 2020 to re-image and strengthen the city's role in long-range planning.
Open it up to the comments for the group here. Just want to make it clear how important it is for the community, especially West Tampa, to get involved with the comp plan. The comp plan does dictate a lot in the city. Our LDRs, land development regulations, and other codes, they all have to be in line with that comp plan. And another thing that I'm not sure if a lot of individuals are aware, but even our CRA, our community redevelopment plan, always has to be in line with that comp plan. So make sure that all of you take this just take it very close to your hearts and participate as much as you can, especially for West Tampa, and get your neighbors, whoever else involved throughout this entire process, because like I said, everything needs to be in line with that comp plan.
Joe, you there? All right, Joe, we'll come back to you if you have another comment. Go ahead, Mr. Randolph.
Oh, thank you. So in past years, my name is Michael Randolph, and I'm with the West Tampa Community Development Corporation. How are you tonight? And well, actually, it's not night, it's evening time, but that's how my day been. In past years, you had reached out to the West Tampa CDC for us to put together a community-wide meeting so residents in the community can voice that opinion. And I could reach out to you, but this time not a face-to-face, but a virtual meeting with the community. And let me tell you why it's important. There's a tendency for people that are from poor communities black and brown, and it's regular street people, not to really get an opportunity to say what they see to be part of the comprehensive plan. South Tampa might have one perspective, but West Tampa, especially the poor community and the communities of color, might have another perspective. The other thing is, and maybe you do mention it in your plan, is to talk about gentrification and strategies like community benefit agreements that could be leveraged to reduce the number of people that's being displaced in that community. For example, if you came to West Tampa, that would be the number one concern: displacement and gentrification. So thank you. Want to reach out to you for you to be part of the virtual meeting. People want to see you. We haven't seen you since 2016. Thank you.
Thank you.
At a later time.
Okay.
Next, I wanted to bring up the Davis Cigar Factory that has been in the paper recently. Part of our CRA strategic action plan is preservation, and as we have done in the past, we've been able to purchase some property. So I wanted to bring that in front of the subcommittee if they were interested in pursuing the purchase of this historic cigar factory. Just kind of throwing it out there to see what you all think. Mr. Robinson.
Yeah, you sort of, man, you must be getting psychic, man. Every time I think of something, you be right there 20 seconds after me. Here's the deal with that. I don't have a problem with purchasing anything with CRA money, but I do have this problem. We're purchasing Redden Park because we know it's going to be a park. We want to maintain green space. Whenever we purchase a building or anything, I don't want to get like East Tampa, where they purchase buildings and they still sitting there vacant. If we purchase a building, then I want to see what the end use is for the building, and we work towards that end use. So we get a building.
You cut out, Mr. Robinson. Joe, you there?
While we're waiting for Joe, if I may, Mr. Chair, this is Jesus.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just to make sure that all of us start to look at our community redevelopment plan. So anytime we do purchase properties, it has to be in line with our community redevelopment plan. Historic preservation is in there. The preservation of properties and also bringing those properties back up so they're not eyesores in the community is in our CRP as well. As far as the uses, the end uses, that has to also be in line with our redevelopment plan. So just keep that in mind. Start looking at that plan.
All right, so that, am I back on now?
Yes, sir, you're back.
This thing's back and forth. I hate teams. But Jesus, I was hearing you about it. My thing is I don't mind purchasing anything as long as we got the budget and the funds, but we also need to have, like you said, an end use. I know it's in the CRP plan what end uses are, but I like to have an idea. If we're going to purchase a property, what is our end use? Not just buy it to sit there and come up with it, but if we're going to buy it, we need to buy it with the fact that we got an end use in mind, and we start the process of getting that end use procured, done, built out, whatever. So I don't mind purchasing anything that the CRP plan says, but we need to make sure we got a good idea of an end use, not such generic statements because it's in the CRP plan, but a specific end use in mind. Thank you.
Anybody else have any comments or objections or ideas? Wow. Okay. Let's see. Can
I throw something out there real quick in terms of end use?
Yes, you are next. Go ahead.
Yes, it should make sense economically. For example, and I'm not throwing this out there, if it was a business center that came out of that, a technology center that came out of that, something that shows that it makes economic sense because it has to be consistent with the CRA. A lot of people are talking about housing. I don't know if it's going to be a fit when you look at the fact that it doesn't bring about the economic development that particular amount of money should feed back. The other thing is make sure that you go in that building and make sure that there's no issues like with mold or any of those things that old buildings have, because that cost of that building could go up substantially. But look at an economic development end game for that building, and then you're able to not only get that building, but now you can match it with the Department of Labor money for grants and everything to operate that building. Thank you. So as you know, we propose the community building and individual wealth proposal a while back. We called it the West Tampa CDC Technology, Wealth Building, and Job Curation Initiative. I know when we initially started this initiative, folks thought we was crazy. But since then, as you know, we've been able to work and finesse deals for the community by way of road streets and other projects. We think the best use for this particular building is the project that we want to bring forth and talk about. Let's talk about what are the benefits. First, it increased resident-owned businesses. It slowed down the rate of gentrification. It increases public safety because we use this strategy to reduce crime as well. It increases the sales taxes to the city because of the new businesses that we plan to bring out of this deal. And more importantly, it reduces the level of poverty in the community. So how do we do this? This in summary, 3 parts. First, the Technology Center. The Technology Center looks at how do we provide training for the next generation. We know if you go to your supermarket, you see now machines that you can go to that will allow you to it allows you to check out yourself, and you don't need a teller to do that. There was an article on the news that talked about this store, that you walked into the store and there were nobody there. The store was computerized. If you bought something, you put it in your bag, you walk out the store, and bam, you pay for it electronically without it going in your pocket, and you're out of there. I'm saying that because the service industry is being wiped out. And if we don't look at how do we get ready for the next generation, and that's what the Technology Center does. The Technology Center look at mobile, teaching mobile application, wireless networks, web development, game application, Internet 3, the next generation, artificial intelligence, and those skill sets necessary to prepare for the next generation. It also, as a second part, has what we call Technology 101 and showing the power of the internet by way of your cell phone, your smartphone, and how you can use that to really increase your capacity. It increases technology on that particular level individually. And then the Wealth Building Center does a couple of things. It focuses on creating wealth by working with residents to start their own business. One of the initiatives that we're doing now is the home-based e-commerce initiative. But the Wealth Center itself will also include not only e-commerce, but also bricks and mortar type of businesses. The other part of that is the consumer change of mind strategy, in which we begin to work with residents in general to move from the consumer to an investment perspective, what does that mean? Taking that person to learn that and teach that person how to make your money work for you. That and also increase the generational wealth that we're trying to focus on as part of the strategy. We think that, and what the numbers shows that a large percent of poor communities could be redirect in how they use their money to actually get that money to work for them. That could be anywhere from NFTs to crypto to blockchains to stocks to bonds to any of those instruments that you can use to create passive income. So that we think in using the building in this particular manner, we see the building as the rebirth of West Tampa for everybody by giving those opportunities necessary to the least of us in order to build us up and make this a community transformation for everyone. So we're hoping that this becomes a reality. We think that it, again, we already talked about the benefits, and this is just the beginning as we begin the campaign for making this part of the conversation about how do we transform West Tampa, but more importantly, how do we make sure that residents that live in those poverty stricken areas, how do we transform them by giving them the skill sets to get where they need to get to? It's all about economics. If we increase the economics, we reduce gentrification.